Tim. We're continuing our conversations with Jessica Stevenson about melanoma, which is the second most common cancer for 16 to 24-year-olds and the most common cancer for young adults ages 25 to 29. And Jessica, you're included in that statistic.
I am, yes. I am included, and it's a terrifying fact to think that, myself included, but some of us are doing something sometimes every single day that is increasing our risk of melanoma by 75%.
Melanoma has increased by 230% since 1970.
It's a diagnosis that has this reporter seeing a doctor every 3 months. Many dermatologists believe it's the invention of tanning beds that has caused this number to skyrocket. And according to the American Academy of Dermatology, 400,000 cases of skin cancer could be linked to indoor tanning in the U.S. each year.
One session of tanning in one study showed that it increased the risk of melanoma by 20%, and each session afterwards an extra 2%. And if you had more than 40 sessions before the age of 35, your overall risk of melanoma was increased on average by 75%.
That's a staggering figure when we factor in that melanoma is a very dangerous cancer. If it's left untreated, it's going to be a deadly disease. And a tanning bed may give you 10, even 12 times the ultraviolet radiation than what you would get through just natural sunshine.
This intensity makes the cancer more aggressive, says Dr. Bond.
So it goes deeper before it goes wider. So you'll see smaller diameter melanomas that are deeper than they used to be.
O'Neill says the bed's availability year-round is also a risk factor.
For those of us who tanned in the sunshine on a nice sunny day, our tanning was limited to those kinds of conditions. With tanning beds, it's available all the time, every day, sometimes 24 hours a day. So we see young people, and as they grow into adulthood, having a tremendously higher cumulative exposure to ultraviolet radiation.
But just because the sun's rays are out for a limited time doesn't mean they aren't harmful.
Anyone who works or plays outside is going to have ultraviolet radiation exposure from the sun.
It's important to note, experts say UV radiation is not the only cause of melanoma.
There are a number of carcinogens with skin cancer. Some of them are occupational in nature, chemicals, petroleum products, things such as that people might be exposed to in their work environment.
Dr. Bond says genes could also be a risk factor.
There may be some genetic link if you have pancreatic cancer and a family history of pancreatic cancer and melanoma. That may be showing that there's a genetic risk there.
Now, you were an avid tanner, right?
I was an avid tanner. I started when I was 16, which is the first age that you can when you're in Michigan without parental consent. At that point, I was only doing it for maybe a minute or two at the most, only occasionally. But once I got to college is when I really started tanning all the time. The place I went was open 24 hours. They had incentives if you went on off times, like 2 in the morning. And now that I have had this diagnosis and now that I've seen what has happened, it is so emotional, and it is so hard to think that I potentially maybe did something that caused me to get cancer and caused the strain and the heartache I've put on my family and my friends, and to think that I did something 100% out of vanity when I was young that now has left me basically disfigured on my torso. I've had approximately 75 stitches in total between everything. And I did that for no reason other than for what I thought was to look better. It's just, it's crushing.
Well, we appreciate you so much sharing your story, and hopefully some other young person won't do the same thing and won't be going through this.
Yes, and tomorrow too, we'll be going over some kind of fun, more upbeat ways to protect yourself from melanoma.
We'll try not to make you cry every day when you come on with us. Thanks, Jen.